G'day and welcome back. This video we're going to do something a little different because I'm sick of rust repair, so we're going to do something a little bit easier. We're going to clean out inside of the boot and make it like brand new. It's currently quite messy in here, so we're going to get rid of all the junk that's in there, and then we're going to have to clean up the wheel wells and all that kind of stuff, because this whole boot was carpeted and we've got to get all the glue residue off. There's underlay stuck there, over there, everywhere. So we're going to somehow either going to have to sand that off or scrape that off, whichever one is easier, and make it look new. And the taillight section here, we're going to get rid of all this lovely gooey goodness off as well, and we'll clean that up, as well as the back side of the light housings. We'll get that looking like a brand new car, and then we'll continue to work our way around the left hand side of the car after that. Wow, that was a dirty job. I thought I'd start with the razor blade to try and scrape that off, but snap that. So I went to the flappy disc on the grinder and the file sander. I'll show you how it looks. Here we go. It's very dirty in there. So I think the next step will be a vacuum and a wipe down with a damp rag. I did. If you see that shiny patch there, there was like a big blob of seam seal. I thought, oh no, what's hidden here? So I rounded it all off, and luckily it's all metal. So that's good. So both wheel tubs are done. All the underlay that was stuck on there is done. We've done along here. We've also done back along here where the tail lights go in. So probably just a quick sand with the sander to smooth it off a little bit, and then a wipe down and clean, and we're good to go on some shiny black stuff. I also found a whole heap of plugs there. I don't remember what plugs into them. I've got no idea. Can't recall. I know one of the plugs or so is for the boot release, but all them, I've got no idea. It is time to clean out all this rubbish from the boot. Let the vacuuming begin. Well, I think we need to rename that vacuum the crapume, because it's crap. It fills up very quickly and loses suction very quickly too. But 3 loads of dust full, we've got it fairly clean. There's a few areas that I want to touch up. Just in there, looks a bit dodgy. a bit in that corner there. We'll clean those up, and then I'm going to maybe wet sand with one of these kind of pads, sanding block, whatever they may be called. We'll give it a quick once over with that, and then when it dries, a nice wipe down, and it should be good for some shiny black paint.
When's she coming?
Now when you do sanding and stuff after you've cleaned up a nice area, it makes it look crap. We're going to make that look nice again, don't we? Okay, so that's about as clean as we're going to get it at the moment. You see the random patches of etch prime, that is where we had a tiny bit of surface rust, so we've scratched through that to the bare metal and cleaned it up. But I think at this stage, I want to get rid of that trailer plug wiring. So we'll get that out and rejoin the wires how they're meant to be. So that de-wiring of the trailer plug went a lot better than expected. Now, it appears that they just cut a bit of the coating off and attached it in that way. I thought we're going to have to rejoin all these wires. So all we have to do is a bit of electrical tape, because that's all I've got. I do not have any heat shrink around that, separately on each one. And we'll call that good. And we can throw that in the bin. All right, now to address this last remaining part of the tow bar, this huge bracket that goes inside the boot. Now, a viewer did explain to me that those two bolts there that are welded, you can undo the nuts from behind the diff and the petrol tank, and it will come off. But in my opinion, I'm thinking if I take that out, I'm going to have 2 holes up there, and I'm going to have 6 holes here. So should I leave it in or should I not? And then the deciding factor that I've come up with is, whilst I was repairing this part of the car, I actually welded to the front of that bracket there. So it ain't going to come out anyway. So I'm leaving it in, and after this is all nice and painted up, I'm going to put a boot mat in there anyway, so you're not going to see it. That's it, case closed, it's staying. Let's get on with things. All right, I have hit the boot floor with some black stuff, so that's, while we're waiting for that to dry, we have another plan. And just let me explain to you what I plan to do. Because we are not finished all the dirty stuff like bodywork on the car and stuff, to protect this in the future, if you come around with me to the front of the car, I have the old boot carpet, which I'm going to try and clean up, and we'll use that as protection to cover the nice clean paint. If it doesn't clean up nicely, we will buy a new mat. Does that sound like a plan, Zena? Yes, it does. Good, that's what I like to hear. you know what? This carpet's had it, but I think it could do with a real good wash, not just a vacuum. So I think I'll get the hose onto it, get as much of the crap and the stains out of it as I can, and we'll just use it as a protection mat over the paint so that doesn't get ruined as we continue around the car. And we'll get a new mat and fit that in after the dirty stuff's done, as we're starting to put back together, I think. Yep, I think that's the way to go forward. The question is dog shampoo a good way to clean a dirty boot floor mat? There's only one way to find out, and that is by trying. That looks really clean. When it dries, it'll be a different story, but so far, so good. Right, kids?
Yeah.
We'll leave that there to dry for probably a few days because it's really wet. You can see the shower coming down underneath of it, and we'll see what it looks like. Well, the boot mat has dried and it hasn't come up too badly. I'm not saying it's perfect by any stretch, but dog shampoo works pretty well. If you don't have any carpet cleaner or anything like that handy and you got dog shampoo, it'll do the trick. Now, as I said, it's not perfect, and what I'm thinking is I'm pretty damn happy with that. It's inside the boot. I'm probably just going to leave that. Yes, it has a few stains left on it. It's got a couple of burn holes like that. It actually looks worse on the camera to what it does in real life. So just ignore that. But I'm probably not going to spend $160 to $200 on a new one when that one still does the trick. Why? Because TAVO, but yeah, I'm happy with the way that's turned out, and that's the way it'll be staying for the present time. Well, that'll wrap up this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.